question number 20. Question number 20 also is a sequel to question number 19, where the symbols we have already incorporated, the same symbols and codes are true for this problem also. So we are given 3 statements and we are given 2 conclusions. We have to find out which of the conclusion is true. Let us see the working. As usual, I have written the given statements, 3 statements in the top and the conclusions to be proved at the bottom. Now, if you look at the statements, they can be easily combined into a single statement. Let us do it. D $T star M at the rate of K. This is the combined single statement. Therefore, we can now erase the old statement. From this statement, we have to verify whether these 2 conclusions are true. What are the elements in conclusion 1? D and M. D is here, M is here. So, it is already the conclusion is aligned. Now we have to only verify the symbols using the magic box. What is the symbol? Dollar greater than and star is equal to. So we are not crossing to the other side, therefore a valid conclusion is possible. Between these 2 symbols, this has got higher priority, therefore dollar is the correct. Between D and M, dollar must be the correct symbol. So D $M is the correct answer. But unfortunately, we are asked to verify D star. Therefore, this conclusion is wrong. Now let us go to the next conclusion, M and D. M and D, they are in the reverse in the conclusion. Therefore, it has to be converted so that it will sync with the statement. So D is here, M is here. The opposite of at the rate of is percentage. We have to verify D percentage M is true or not. What are the symbols here? D, dollar, and then D, this star. Only these 2 symbols are here. Therefore, the conclusion is D $M is correct, and therefore this conclusion is also wrong. Now we have arrived at 2 conclusions which are wrong. Can we proceed now to say that the 2 conclusions are wrong? No, you have to wait for a minute, because there is something called a complementary pair, about which we have already talked a lot under syllogism. What is a complementary pair? When the elements are the same, first you should have 2 wrong conclusions, and then you should have the elements must be either same or equal. In such a case, there is a possibility that the conclusions may be complementary pair. Here let us look at what are the conclusions we have verified. First we have verified D and M, then again also we have verified D and M. Therefore the elements are the same. If elements are the same, then we have to verify whether it forms a complementary pair or not. Now let us verify. So what is the first conclusion? D $M we have arrived at is D $M means greater than or equal to M. This is the real relationship between D and M. D star M means D is equal to M. D percentage M means D is greater than M. Now look at this. You will find that if conclusion 1 is true, then conclusion 2 is false. If conclusion 2 is true, conclusion 1 is false, because they form the complementary pair. How we arrived at the complementary pair? First rule is that both conclusions must be false. Here we arrived both the conclusions were false. Then the elements must be the same. Elements we have verified they are the same. Then we have to verify the conclusions whether they are whether which one of them is true. Now in this case, what is true? D greater than or is equal to M is true. So if D is equal to M, then D is greater than M is false. If D is greater than M is true, D is equal to M is false. Therefore this is a classic case of complementary pair. Therefore the conclusions 1 and 2 form complementary pair. So either conclusion 1 is true or conclusion 2 is true. That is the correct answer. So let us verify the answer slide. So for question number 20, the correct answer is option E. Either conclusion 1 or conclusion 2 is true. Now friends, we have come to the end of our session on coded inequalities. As I told you in the beginning, definitely 5 questions will come. Nowadays it has almost become a ritual that this question is repeated again and again. And mostly the question will be in coded inequality. And many of the students leave it because they are not able to solve the complexities of the code as well as the symbol, and they are trying to use it, keeping everything in their mind without use of the magic box and all. So that is a very difficult thing to do. Now that I have taught you the steps involved in solving the problem, and also a wonderful tool, magic box, which will help you solve all problems of coded inequality within few seconds once you master the concept. So if it's not sufficient if you just understand what I have told you. Mere understanding is not sufficient, because you will have to practice it and perform in the examination. For that what you need is more and more practice. Please take some more questions from recent examinations and then try to solve it yourself using magic box. Then you will find true magic works and you will be able to solve the problem within a very short time and take all the 5 answers as correct. It is something like Tirupati Laddu. Once you work, you know the concept, you will be able to get like Tirupati Laddu 5 marks under this chapter. I wish all of you get the prasad of the great Lord Venkateshwara by solving this problem. We will see in the next session.